What's up, guys? Ted from Immersion here, and it's time for a D&D weekly update, or in this case a bi-weekly update since I missed the week before, but I did have house guests, so things get a little bit crazy. What do we have for you this week? Again, a little bit of smattering news, podcasts, things like that. There was a new Dragon Plus released, but big news, which I just became aware of, so I wanted to let you guys know. We have an outline for 4 new official pieces of Dungeons & Dragons merchandise coming out over the remainder of the year. I'm going to be going through everything we know so far, and I will be keeping you guys updated as time goes on with what can happen. Obviously, I'll be purchasing this and then doing reviews on it for you guys, but if you're curious about any of that, stay tuned. Alright, so why don't we jump in. First up, we have Feats for races. The previous update you saw me cover, there was Feats for skills. This was from about 2 weeks back by the time you guys are seeing this. Also, by the time you guys are seeing this, there will no longer be weekly D&D released on Unearthed Arcanas, although there was one. This is from 2 weeks. There was one last week, but that was the first of the month, so that was back on the regular cadence. There's a video here on the channel if you'd like to check out my thoughts on them. I think they're way better than the skill-related ones, and I think we need to get them for a lot more classes. Okay, so Catalyst Games has partnered with Wizards of the Coast to do a new Dungeons & Dragons deck-building game. This is called Dragonfire. I'm not really huge into deck-building games. I don't have anything against them. I honestly just haven't ever played one. And it's not for lack of wanting to try, really. It's just that I can't seem to get a group of people together that want to try it. There was a Game of Thrones one out that I really wanted to play, the Harry Potter Battle for Hogwarts, which may be my way to get people to play, starting with Harry Potter. But Dragonfire is built on the award-winning, critically acclaimed Shadowrun Crossfire game engine. I don't believe we have a release date. We can look at dragonfirethegame.com to see the future details. Heroes wanted. Enter your email to stay up to date. 36 players, deck building game with the world's greatest role-playing game, Dungeons & Dragons, equipped with weapons, spells, magic items. Players begin their adventure along the famed Sword Coast, then expand to other locales across the Forgotten Realms, Baldur's Gate, and so on. And here's some more information. So I guess we'll just have to stay tuned, because I don't believe there's currently a release date. So we shall see. Just a little bit of an update for the folks who play Neverwinter. It has breached 15 million players all around since its launch in 2013. So keep an eye out there. If you guys are playing on consoles, Xbox One and PS4, the Day of the Dungeon Master event just started 7 days ago on the 1st of May. It's really fun. It kind of gives your characters the ability to play D&D as your Neverwinter characters, like going and playing a Dungeons & Dragons game. It's pretty cool. I recommend checking it out if you're playing. James Haeck, I'm going to guess, is on, that's how you pronounce it, on D&D Writing on the Dragontalk podcast. This has brought back the Sage Advice part of the Dragontalk podcast due to Unearthed Arcana ending. So we have Greg Tito and Bart Carroll. We have Sage Advice about stealth. Again, these, I haven't listened to these, although I am going to go back and start listening to these because I like the Sage Advice articles. But this seems, I mean, just based on the time, could that be a near 40-minute conversation about stealth in 5th edition? I don't know if that's true, but that's the way it's written out to look here. The interview with James Haeck, who's one of the writers for his talents were discovered with a little help from Critical Role. So there you go. And then again, you have the information on everybody here. Alright, so we're moving on. Tales from the Yawning portal is available. We know that it's been out. I just wanted to get you guys the heads up that it is available on Roll20. If you guys play exclusively online or are just planning to play this on Roll20, I would recommend purchasing this. It is $49 if you don't have the physical copy of the book. I highly recommend, if you're going to be playing online, to do this. I don't want to tell you guys to buy it twice just because I don't think it's a good idea, but it will give you all of the dungeons and all of the maps and everything built into Roll20 for you to use. So you'll get all of the dungeons, Over 300 hours of campaign preparation completed for Roll20 users. Statted tokens featuring original artwork for the various monsters and things like that. Tokens are linked to their character entries in the journal, with Roll20 5th edition OGL character sheets and clickable actions. 30 battle ready maps. Each add-on is advanced feature enabled with dynamic lighting, cross-linked handouts throughout the adventure. Basically, all the work that you'd be doing behind the scenes as a DM in Roll20 is already done for you. Again, it's $40. It's the price of the book. You can get the book a little bit cheaper if you go on Amazon or something like that. But if you're going to be playing online, why save yourself the effort of trying to go find these maps and download them potentially illegally or paying extra money to buy them directly from the artist when you can just get them all at once? Again, if that's really what you're going to do. I personally wouldn't do this because I'd be playing it more in person than I would be online. There's a new Dragon Plush. There might be a new Dragon Plush, but there's a new Dragon Plus issue out. This is the Endeavor issue. I promised that I was going to do a review of the February issue, and I never did. So I am going to be doing one of these, so be on the lookout. I promise to go through this. You can see all the content here. There's a lot of Tales from the Yawning Portal stuff about D&D Beyond, a history of the desktop dungeon, and a couple other unlucky dice rolls. Neverwinter's developers present their tales of epic fails rolls and their tragic consequences. Again, it's free. You can download the app on your Android or iOS, and there is a web viewable version of it. So I will be going through that here on the web shortly. So let's move on. Revised subclasses we're getting back into the most recent week. This was Monday, the 1st of May. This article, the most recent in the Unearthed Arcana, kind of goes through and talks about what classes need to be tweaked and sort of talking about that. There is a little bit of information here. Each of these subclasses were popular in the surveys you filled out, but each one also included things you wanted to see change. We examined the survey results. Again, this is what I like to try to tell you guys. Doing these surveys are important because it allows them to go in and take your feedback and apply them. The weekly series generated tons of feedback from you, for which we're very grateful. The Cleric's Forge domain ended up being the most popular thing we released, and the Fighter Sharpshooter class was by far the least popular. The most satisfying options, things that were liked by at least 70% of you, have a good chance of appearing in future D&D books after being revised and polished. Thanks again for sharing your thoughts. We basically got the Ancestral Guardian Barbarian got an update, College of Swords Bard, the Arcane Archer Fighter, the Way of the Kensai Monk, and the Sorcerer Favored Soul. There's an article that hit Kotaku earlier this week about therapists using D&D to get kids to open up. We've heard about this, or at least I've heard about this, and possibly you have as well, where this has kind of been an ongoing thing. People have been doing, I've heard theses on using D&D for therapeutic methods to get kids that are, whether they're just closed off or they have special needs or things like that, where they're using Dungeons and Dragons to get people to open up and kind of step out of their comfort zone. And that's sort of a thing that you can do in a role-playing game. Get people to play something they're not, or use the kind of shield, if you will, of a character to make decisions and do things that you wouldn't normally do, and then use that to impact your real-world life. So I don't want to dive too much into the article because it is a long and it is an interesting article here, but I highly recommend. There will be links to this as well as every other article that you've heard me talk about here in the description. So if you're curious about this and you want to learn more, there will be links in the description. And again, I mean, I'm an advocate for going out and playing games, making friends, meeting new people, things like that. But I mean, maybe this is a good way to connect with your kids. Keep yourself involved, bring in family members. It's been a great way for me to sort of keep a bond going with my cousin who lives far away because he loves Dungeons and Dragons, and I run a game for my family, and it gets my mom, my uncle, and everybody kind of involved. So maybe give it a shot. The Black on Black Dungeons and Dragons ampersand cap is available at Welovefine for $25. Again, as I've said, there are various other options you can get for various D&D t-shirts, as well as the kind of ongoing Storm King's Thunder art project where people can submit their designs and you can vote on them. You can also submit your own designs. Adam Bradford and Lee Coons were on Dragontalk podcast talking about D&D Beyond. And there was a Sage Advice article. Again, looks like almost an hour worth of discussion about multi-classing. So Cursed Media calling to chat and talk about the digital tools coming to D&D Beyond. So I don't know. I like I said, I plan to do a separate video, which I should actually get on about D&D Beyond. But I'm kind of in the boat with a lot of other folks that too little, too late. I mean, D&D 5th edition is still in its infancy as far as a long-term, edition of Dungeons and Dragons goes. But like, this is the kind of resources we needed at the launch of 5th edition to help make it the Dungeons and Dragons edition for a new age, an internet age, where things like Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds and Virtual Tabletop Simulator and all these things exist. A digital tool set that's first party would have been a huge selling point for 5th edition over folks. I mean, especially now that D&D 5th edition has been out for almost 3 to 2 or 3 years at this point. I don't know. It's just like, this could have pulled people in from the start, and now people may have just made their judgment calls on 5th edition and said, I'm sticking with Pathfinder, I'm sticking with whatever else. This would have been a good thing to have at the start. Okay, now the moment you possibly may have all been waiting for, new Dungeons & Dragons merchandise. I highly recommend, if you haven't already, to check out EN World's stuff on 5th edition. It is I'm sure you've heard of this. If you haven't, this is one of the largest, if not the largest, RPG-related forum site in the world. News, reviews, comments, questions, you can get a lot of stuff here. So this particular link is all about just what you can get for 5th edition, and there's a quote right here at the top. We're looking at least 2 stories lines a year. Right now we have plans laid down for stories up through 2018. It's 2017. We're about halfway through. We saw Tales from the Yawning Portal released. Does that mean we're going to get another storyline book by the end of the year? And does that mean that 5th edition ends in 2018? You can read into this a lot. Is there going to be a 5.5 like there was a 3.5? Who knows? But this is a list of all of the available products for 5th edition. You can see the starter set, basic rules. Some of these are free PDFs. Most of the deluxe D&D DM screen, the Dungeon Master Guide, etc. These are a lot of things you can see. Adventurer's Handbook. This was, I remember this, canceled, yeah. D&D Adventurer's Handbook. This is what we heard about. I remember doing reviews on this several years ago. Create heroic heroes to conquer the elements in this accessory for the world's greatest role-playing game. Not inherently evil, elemental power can be mastered by those both malevolent and benign intentions. The Elemental Evil Adventurer's Handbook provides everything that the player needs to build a character that's tied directly into the Elemental Evil story arc, etc. There is the Player's Guide. There's Princess of the Apocalypse, Out of the Abyss, Sword Coast Adventures Guide, Storm King's Thunder, Cloud Giants Bargain. This was one that you could get if you went and saw Acquisitions Incorporated live in theaters. That was pretty cool. Monsters and Heroes of the Realms. This is the coloring book. Dungeonology is sort of the kids' the ology series for D&D. Volo's Guide to Monsters, and now Tales from the Yawning Portal. We now have these listed. Unnamed Major Rules expansion. I think I talked about this once before, but Mike Merles has hinted a couple times about a Major Rules expansion in the pipeline, but the latest is that we are still deciding what form it will take. When you hear this, what this means is the folks from D&D originally did the core rulebook, the Dungeon Master Guide, the Player's Handbook, the Monster Manual. And then they decided with Volo's Guide, I think it was with Volo's Guide, that they didn't want to do just source books. Like, they're not going to release a rules compendium. At least that's the feeling that I got when they did Volo's Guide, was that they wanted to release these books, but also have the book be like an in-universe tome, as it were. So, like, Volo's Guide to Monsters isn't a book of new races and a book of new monsters to fight. I mean, at the base level it is all of those things, but it's a book written by Volo, so it's like a book that you would pick up in the realms, like, oh, Volo's Guide to Monsters, and there's intro stuff at the beginning, which is sort of lore-based knowledge. So I don't really know how a rules expansion fits into that sort of what they're kind of going for there. D&D Beyond, coming summer 2017. The digital toolset beta signups are open, and you can get access to it right now. Dust, codename for a $49.95 hardcover, coming September 19th, 2017. Midway, codename for a $49.95 hardcover, coming the 21st of November, 2017. 4 unnamed RPG accessories, info below as it comes. There is some, and I'll show you specifics. A character sheet book, and a DM screen. Let's take a look at these Dust and Midway, just for those of you who are unfamiliar, myself included. Yeah, so Dust and Midway, code names for upcoming D&D hardcovers. So who knows if these are going to come out, because they're going to come out back to back. They do not match the 4 named RPG accessories on Amazon.com. So we do know this is something else. We did hear this, that Pendleton Ward, the creator of Adventure Time, is tied to some upcoming Dungeons and Dragons storyline book. What that is, nobody knows. It could be this Midway, it could be this Dust, it could be something completely different, who knows. But that is something I just wanted to point out to you guys in case you missed one of my earlier updates where I talked about that. So, we have these 4 products, right? So, these are kind of the dates. We have 4 RPG accessories. One, October 17th for $25. So these we know are accessories because they are not listed at a full hardcover price. October 17th, 2017 for $25. September 19th for $20. July 18th for $15, and June 20th for $10. So, those of those, yeah. So this is where it's basically saying that they're not big ticket hardcovers. $49 Dungeonology and Monsters of the Realm were a little bit less than that. DM screens and cards, similar things, were done by Gale Force 9. These are done by official D&D folks. We do know 2 of them. This is one. The official D&D character sheets coming in June. This is the art for it. One of the 4 mysterious unnamed D&D products has been revealed. Coming out on, this is the June 20th for $10, is a folder of official D&D character sheets. Inside the pocket of this lavishly illustrated protective folder, you'll find a full set of 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons character sheets for use in any D&D campaign. The product includes 3 additional styles of double-sided character sheets, giving veteran players options based on their individual play preference, and spell sheets for tracking or keeping track of their magical repertoire. Also included is an introductory character sheet designed specifically to help ease new players into the game. Fans can use these character sheets to welcome new players to the world's greatest role-playing game or choose a variant that fits their preferences. We've seen this in the past. If you look at 3.5 character sheets, there are a ton on the D&D website. There is like the base character sheet, which is the one you're probably familiar with. There's the advanced character sheet. There's the one that's an 11 by 17 that folds open like a book. Then they also went into character-specific, like class-specific ones where they printed out and it had all the class information on the sheet itself. And the second is a new Dungeon Master screen. We can see this here, taken as a picture. This is in front of Matt Mercer for the new Force Grey that's going to be happening. You can see him here. You can see the filming here. And here is the top of the Dungeon Master screen. And this is Tyler Jacobs' Red Dragon art for Tyranny of Dragons. But we can take a look at this. This is scheduled for September 8th. Likely the 19th for the non-preferred stores that were the Wizards Play Network stores. This is being called the Dungeon Master screen reincarnated. We can get a pretty good look at it here. So we see these 1.5 panels are the conditions for 5th edition, similar to what we have. We can see here, this looks like the spell area of effects. I'm guessing this is all about spell casting. Setting a DC, tracking DCs, looks like damage by level and severity. Looks like a lot of these are fairly similar to what we have. Something, hit points, creature hit points maybe. I have the other DM screen off to the side, but you get the point that this is fairly similar to what we have, but some of these look different. I'm curious to see what it looks like. I would like to pick this up myself. I do reviews of all the DM screens that are out there, so this is obviously on my list. But more importantly is, what are these remaining ones that we don't get to see? Oh, here we go. This one's a little bit clearer. Object hit points, object armor class. Does that say something and associated abilities? Oh, skills and associated abilities. Yep, cast a spell. This is spell casting. Food, drink, and lodging. That's from the player's handbook. So I think this one's a little bit better because the last one, in my mind, had a lot of stuff all tied to creating NPCs. And me personally, I don't really need a table to randomly generate an NPC. I can typically do that on my own, but this seems to have more generic stuff that I personally would want. But yeah, so we have this information. And then we have some more free materials from that one list there. And then again, officially licensed products, spell cards, character token sets from Gale Force 9, Attack Wing from WizKids, all the various DM screens, and then Roll20. And then here's the Taraka deck. Again, a lot of cool stuff happening out there. You can see Cobalt Press did these two, Green Ronin did these, did Out of the Abyss. Prince of the Apocalypse was done by Sasquatch, and then Wizards has done the two most recent campaigns that are out there. Again, we have this idea of this Dust or this Midway potentially coming out, but we do know that there are these 4 unnamed, 2 of them are named, coming out later this year. We know that June 20th is the character sheets, and then the September 19th / earlier is the DM screen Reincarnated. But what will we see on October 17th and July 18th? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, guys, I hope this was helpful and or useful to you guys, whether any of this was new information. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for these new materials? Are you excited for new storylines? Are you more excited for the potential of a new source book? Something maybe a little beefier than the Sword Coast Adventures Guide? We got some new races, kind of. We got some new classes, which was nice. We didn't get one for each of the new, for every class in there. And we got a shit ton of lore and information about the Sword Coast, which is awesome. Don't get me wrong. But I just want a book. I want a source book. I don't want, give me a little bit of character stuff at the start. Give me, like the Player's Handbook 2. Or the Monster Manual 2. Or the Dungeon Master Guide 2. These have all been things in the past. I was a huge fan of the Complete series for 3.5. Complete Arcane, Complete Warrior. Give me a book like that. That's something I'd like to see. But maybe that's just me. Let me know what you guys think. New gamers, let me know what your thoughts are about 5th edition and the book frequency so far. And old players, let me know. Do you think this is too slow? Do you think 5th edition is... I realize it's trying to back off of the book a month kind of thing we've seen in the past, but is this too slow? A couple books a year and most of them campaign storylines? I get it, the writing is solid, especially it's improved immensely over the years, but I don't know, come on. I think we need more books. I think we're getting to the point now, this far into the life cycle, people want a little bit more, I mean, maybe it's just me, and I get it that I get to play D&D probably a lot more than a lot of folks do, but there are people that play more often than I do. You can only play, there's so many characters, you don't want to play the same thing you've played before. Maybe you do, but, I know when I play with a group of people and somebody's playing a different class, I typically try not to play that class when it's when I get a chance to play, because, I've already seen it played. I want to do something different. Again, maybe it's just me. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed that. Sorry, the end cards may be a little wonky due to YouTube removing annotations completely, so I can only have 20 seconds here. So, up top, Out of the Abyss, Katie, a.k.a. Miss Lazy Mermaid, was here right behind us playing her character, Katie, as we rescued her pizza oven from the Knolls. Horde of the Dragon Queen right in the middle. This is our most recent one. We tried a new cam setup. Let us know what you think about the clarity of the cameras. We go through some games and events set up in Elturel where the party tries to win some gold, as well as bragging rights. And down at the bottom, I have Curse of Strahd. In the most recent Curse of Strahd episode, we played for 7 hours. Katie, again, was here in person. She played Valine de Queen, a Raven Queen warlock, and we fought some hags, and it took a long time. we were in the chair for 7 hours. So if you've got some time on your hands, buckle up and set yourself in for 7 hours in Barovia. And right here, the old subscribe button may still be visible, but I have to do the new wonky YouTube symbol subscribe because that's the only option I have. But click that if you want to stay up to date on the videos that we put out here on the channel. We're approaching 2,000 subscribers here on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for the support. When we hit that, it's going to be some kind of giveaway, so be on the lookout. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.